What's up, War Report family? It's your boy C Dub. You already know the drill. It's week 9 preview. We're looking at the matchups this weekend as well as previewing Auburn versus Mississippi State at home. All that and more in the latest edition of the Midweek Report. Welcome to the latest midweek report, courtesy of our show sponsor, AuburnSports.com. Guys, head over there. Show them some love as they have shown us love throughout the years now. It's been a while since they've been partnering with us, and so we appreciate them for their support. We appreciate you for your support. That support being sharing this content with your friends, group chat, social media. Smash that like button. And those of you who have subscribed to our channel, we are greatly appreciative to you guys for doing so. And we even appreciate you if you get a green name. I can tell you how to get all that and more and what you can expect when you join the channel.
It's really simple. To get the green name, you click join and you decide which level you want to get. And the things that you get are things like film reviews. We are heavy on the film review here at the War Report. You can't know what's going on to you. Coach Freeze told you himself. He's like, hey, man, look, if you want to know, go watch the film. He was basically saying, come to the War Report and join. Like, he didn't know that was an advertisement for joining the War Report, but that's exactly what he was saying.
I'm with it.
Yeah. We also give away tickets to games, so you guys can get in with that. If you are a member and you want to gift a membership, you can do that right now from the live chat, and somebody else will get their first month of membership on you. We give away stuff, and today it's a mug. Hashtag Get Your Weight Up, sponsored by War Eagle Oil. Make sure you get your spelling correct in the live chat in order to be here for the draw. You have to be here in order to win the drawing, so make sure you stick around for that. And then if you want to listen to us in audio format, there are a lot of ways you can do that, and there's some other people who you can listen to. The Uptempo Podcast, College Loop, Just a Sec Podcast, and we are the Auburn Express. Everywhere you listen to podcasts, make sure you lock in with that.
Gentlemen, it's week 9. Auburn has a home game, Mississippi State week. How are we feeling, gentlemen, about kind of where we are? You guys have been doing great work with the morning drops this week. How are you feeling, man? We're going to talk more in depth, but just kind of high level. How are you feeling about Auburn going into Mississippi State week, Ike?
How I'm feeling going into this week is we are in a position as Auburn fans to either be elated about the new streak or very, very sad that we lost to a terrible, terrible Mississippi State team. And I said terrible twice because that's how bad they are. I don't care. Mississippi State fans, go cry to somebody else. Somebody was in our comment section talking about, you're talking about Mississippi State being bottom dwellers and they've been to bowl games this many years straight and they're 5-5 in the last 10 years. I was like, okay, and how many championships has Mississippi State won? When I talk about traditional powers, where does Mississippi State rank? What are you good at besides baseball, Mississippi State? Go look in the mirror and tell me that. Women's basketball? That's what y'all got? How many times they've been to the national championship in any other sport besides baseball and women's basketball? Oh, okay. Recognize the fact that you're trash as a program historically, because that's what we're talking about. And be okay with that. Just continue to be good. Hey, we're getting better right now. And they were like, you're acting as if Auburn is elite right now. I never said that. I never said we were an elite program right now. I said historically, Auburn is a better program than Mississippi State is. Okay. And that's a factual thing. Yeah, we can debate a lot of stuff, but if you don't want to use facts in that debate, talk to yourself.
If Ole Miss is broken ugly, what is Mississippi State?
Mississippi State is... Oh my goodness! I mean, I don't even know. They are
broker and uglier, I guess.
I mean, they are some hit ducks over there, boy. I tell you that.
Yep, I would agree.
Hit ducks, I like
straight foie gras.
I like it. All right, let's get into
He asked me how I felt about it. Let's go move on. Oh, wow.
Predictions.
That was my invisible shirt today. Let's go disregard your boy like that. Wow. We don't talk for 2 days. You forget.
You
Broken Ugly plus cowbells is hilarious, Fresh Maggot. I just got to tell you that.
Yeah.
Mike, how you feeling, bro?
Look,
my bad.
For 4 straight weeks, I have had to predict an Auburn loss. 4 weeks, guys. No wins in the SEC. This week, the streak ends. Not only are they broken ugly, they are deadbeat dads. They are whatever terrible thing has happened to you in your life. Mississippi State is it. They don't pay their child support over there. Look.
Oh, man.
Be honest about Mississippi State.
Wow.
The cowbell is the worst tradition in the history of the conference.
It was so crazy. Like during the last game, they went out of their way to say, hey, don't make any artificial noise during the game. And all I could think is, isn't that like the whole Mississippi State tradition?
That's their whole personality. It's a cowbell. No,
get the
thank you.
Of a cowbell.
No, we are
that is
done
the
with
new
that.
insult. You have the personality of a cowbell. I just want you to know that.
I don't care how bad Auburn's offense has been. They break the streak this week. They will find a way to win this game because they have to, guys. They have to win. You cannot lose to Mississippi State. As a matter of fact,
we just lost every Mississippi State fan that ever watched.
Have you ever driven from Alabama to Mississippi?
Not on purpose.
I've never done that. I've never driven to Mississippi.
Yeah.
I've always kept going through. I've never stopped in the state of Mississippi.
Gas up at the Alabama
Tell
state
me
line
about this
and
poor
make sure
experience you had.
Bro, once you hit the state lines, the roads instantly turn to shit. Like, it's like paved, and it's like, bam, Mississippi, right? It's terrible. It's a terrible place. And they have a terrible football team.
Oh, man.
And I apologize to my guy, Lounge Dog, because I'm talking a lot of crap about Mississippi right now. But,
hey,
man, I'm telling you, I can't with them this week. Auburn's going to win this game because they have to, right? They have to. This begins the stretch of teams that are definitely beatable. They will find a way to win this game. I can't tell. Don't ask me how.
Yeah.
I don't care how at this point.
Yeah, honestly.
But
if we're being honest.
Find a way to win this game, right? So I'm not sitting here predicting some sort of offensive revival. May or may not happen. We'll see. And we'll talk about that later when we look at the numbers. But yes, Auburn 31, Mississippi State 17.
Wow.
This is the week.
We'll more on that. More on that. Yeah. More on that later on in the show. But you call that in a couple of places. I saw that this morning, Mike, and I got questions.
Okay. All right.
I'm saying we don't win, but I got questions. That's all. Right. Okay. 4 weeks talk more about our game. Let's talk about what else is happening.
Somebody said Drake in the comments. That's all I said. Drake.
Let's
throw the whole program away. If he ever puts on anything Auburn, we're done, guys. We're done. The Drake curse.
It's the Drake curse.
It's the Drake curse, yeah. He put on a Georgia jacket a few weeks ago, and I was like, that doesn't bode well for them. We don't want them. Throw them back.
How in what proximity was that to Brock Bowers getting injured?
Ooh, that's a great question. I will research that. Follow the War Report. We'll tweet it out. Drake wore a Georgia jacket on X date. Brock Bowers gets injured. Not saying it's connected. Just saying
it's Drake.
Yeah. If he even thought about it
Every
before
time I see that, I say that now.
Drake.
I do whatever I want.
All right. Let's look at how we fared last week with our predictions. 3-1 across the board. Who let us down last week?
Arkansas against Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of which,
wow.
Arkansas
7-3.
showed up to kick a field goal and did nothing else.
That's it. That's all they did. Shout out to Travis Williams' defense for only giving up 7 points, though.
Yeah. Kudos.
I'll go T. Will out there holding Mississippi State.
Kudos. Let's see what happens this week. I don't see much disagreement here. Could be. We'll see. Let's start off with perhaps the weakest game on the schedule here. Vandy on the road at Ole Miss. What y'all think about this one here?
Ole Miss.
Yeah, let's look, man. I thought they might have some kind of impact on how the West plays out this year. They still have a chance. I don't think Vanderbilt does it. They're not a great team. Minus 24.5. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm mad B's not here to talk to us about this spread.
Is this the year that Ole Miss gets 10 wins?
Yeah, I think so. And
Well,
I don't think Vandy covers here. I think it beat by more than 24 points.
Yeah, I think I got Ole Miss here. I
Yeah.
got Ole Miss in this one easy. Yeah. I mean, the only team that really threatens them, gives them obviously I see them losing to Georgia. And I think Texas A&M will be an interesting game for them. That's a home game for them though. So that'll be interesting. Ike, what do you have on this game? Ole Miss, Vandy?
Yeah, Ole Miss.
We all in agreement here, and I believe B predicted Ole Miss as well for this. So all four of us agree that Ole Miss will take this game. Let's move on to another less interesting game. South Carolina on the road against Texas A&M. What y'all think about the line there? What do you think about this game overall? I got A&M in this game.
I have A&M as well, too. Wheels come off for South Carolina.
Yeah.
Lots of preseason excitement for the Beamers. But everybody knows a Beamer is no good after 60,000 miles when that warranty runs out. It's done.
That's really good.
Buy American.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I have to.
That's top notch.
Yeah,
I have to give it to you there. That was a good one.
Listen, for a couple of weeks,
and
I've
Caesar
been
knows
saying
he had a Beamer.
Yes, I got rid of it. I got rid of it very quickly.
Trucks.
I've been saying for a couple of weeks that I thought South Carolina was going to pull their same old South Carolina into the season, Houdini act where everybody thinks that they're locked away in the casket floating underneath the river, and then they pop up on the other side free of shackles. It ain't looking good, man. It ain't looking good. I don't know that this is going to be the week that they figure it out, and I'm going to go with Texas A&M in this game.
Okay. All right. B Will has Texas A&M as well. So far we all agree it's Texas A&M.
Yeah. Tatiana says, I love my Beamer. Stop it. Whatever.
It's a fun car.
Trade it in now, Tatiana.
It's a fun. Listen, it's a fun car to drive.
Come pick your boy up in the Beamer.
It's a fun car until you got to take it in for service.
Yeah. Until you got to write the repair check.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. Hope you got that warranty, brother. All right.
South Carolina extended warranty.
Yeah, this is up. It's 3 years.
Yeah.
All right. This is almost up, Playboy. Tennessee, number 21, Tennessee goes on the road to Kentucky. This is an intriguing one here.
Intriguing for sure.
Very interesting one right here. We could get some separation here. What you guys think about this one? What you think about that line? Apparently Vegas thinks is an interesting one too.
I mean, Vegas is best. I mean, it's at home for Kentucky, and they are down 3.5. I want to pick the upset here. I really do. Like, I'm trying to talk myself into picking the upset here because once again, I will say I don't have very much faith in Joe Milton, and I'm thinking that they might have a Tuscaloosa hangover.
A Lusa hangover, huh?
I don't know, man. I really want to pick Kentucky right here.
Kentucky always Kentucky's though.
They do.
I'm going with Tennessee on this one.
I'm going Tennessee too, man.
I'm going with Tennessee. I'm going with the Vols. I don't know. You know what? I'm sorry. I'm picking Kentucky.
Okay.
I almost forgot about the Vol fan wishing like literal death on Brock Bowers. Wow, yeah. I'm morally obligated to pick against them the rest of the year. Screw that guy. Kentucky.
Man, see, this is where I need B Will to be here to tell me, some of the stat stuff that I want to know about what Kentucky has done again. I mean, what Tennessee has done again. How did they do against the run against Alabama? And what have they done in their last 3 games versus the run? Because that's going to tell me a lot about how I feel like this game goes defensively for Tennessee. Offensively, excuse me.
I just think Tennessee's defense is, to me, pretty good this year. And with Kentucky's issues and struggles on the, I think I'm gonna go I'm sticking with Tennessee just because of Tennessee's defense is better. Offense isn't as good this year, obviously, for obvious reasons, but their defense is good, and I think it's good enough that travels well on the road. With Kentucky's iffy offense, I like Tennessee in a close game.
I said I was gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take UK. I'm gonna take Kentucky in this game. Yeah,
Pull ahead or pull further away. I mean, or get further behind. This is it. All right. B Will also picked Tennessee.
Okay.
So there's the
right.
split. 2 of us are going Tennessee. The other 2 is Kentucky. So
there we go.
That was the one. Let's go. Number 1, Georgia meets Florida. I think this is a neutral site game. Isn't this in Jacksonville?
Jacksonville, yeah.
Yeah. What do we think about this one, guys? They're loving Georgia.
Yeah,
of course.
Does Florida make this does Florida beat the spread here?
Yo, there was a wild tweet on the timeline talking about how Georgia's last 4-game stretch is the toughest they've ever seen. I want to say it was like Danny Cannell.
It wasn't a tweet. It was a video.
Yeah. Did you see this?
Yes.
Yeah. I was like, wait, bro, what? And then Auburn fans were posting our last 4 games.
Yeah.
And they were like, we'd like to have a word with you, sir.
It's ridiculous considering everyone knows that Georgia's schedule was a cream puff this time. Danny Cannell.
It was Danny Cannell?
Yeah.
Yeah. He had a stupid face, so I knew it was him. Look, he was on Next Round Live.
He always has bad takes, though.
Dude, terrible. I was like, yo, where did you pull that take from? He's usually an SEC hater, too.
All the time.
Which is why his takes are terrible.
Yeah. I'm like, what? I mean, this dude can't be serious. Yeah. No, I mean, look, Georgia's going to win this game. Carson Beck is starting to turn into the quarterback that they hoped he would be. And this is what good programs do, right? Georgia's first championship was won off the back of a historic defense. Their second championship was won on the back of a semi-historic defense, but also a surging quarterback, right? And Stetson Bennett. This year, it's going to have to be a whole team effort. But when the sum of all their parts are way greater than Florida this time, I don't care where. Is this still a neutral site game?
Yes.
Jacksonville, I think they played this game.
Jonathan Boyson says it was Chris Doring of ESPN SEC Network, not Danny Cannell. I thought.
Okay, they look similar.
Chris Doring. Man,
come on, Chris.
Bro. Come on, man.
Yeah, man. I don't know. All right, Cannell's off the hook for this one. That explains the SEC love. I was a little surprised Cannell was something like that, but yeah, it was a dumb take. This game. I don't know, man. Georgia by more than 14. I don't.
Okay, so they do cover.
They cover in this one.
I mean, I don't care. I don't do this covering and all that kind of stuff, but yeah, Georgia.
Yeah, the conference needs them to be good this year if we're going to continue the streak. Can you imagine a three-peat? People gonna be barking at gas stations.
That's the bittersweet part about it, Mike. Is that it'll be Georgia three-peating.
Oh God, better than Bama
modern
three-peating,
era.
I guess.
It's the things video games are made of.
Both of those things sound disgusting, and I only want to drink some more water to get the taste of that out of my mouth, bro.
Yeah, wash that down.
Yeah.
All right, we're having a good time tonight.
Goodness, I don't see any. I don't think we flagged any questions or anything here. So let's let's go ahead and let's go ahead and head on and talk about this Auburn matchup against Mississippi State. Before we do that, y'all, you are watching the midweek report. We need you to help us out. Share this content however you can. Group chat, social media. Do the necessary. Smash that like button and subscribe if you are new to our channel. Pay some bills. We'll be right back to talk about Auburn and Mississippi State.
This edition of the War Report is brought to you by our generous sponsors. AuburnSports.com. For news and notes on all things Auburn sports, head over to AuburnSports.com. When you work out, grill out, and chill out, you deserve the best life possible, and Golden's Cast Iron is here to provide the tools to help you do it. Check them out at GoldensCastIron.com. And our giveaway sponsor, War Eagle Oil. For all of your motor oil and related products, head over to WarEagleOil.com. As always, thank you to the sponsors of the War Report. Thank you to those of you who continue to support us by becoming members of the War Report. Click the join button if you'd like to get access to all of the great content behind the paywall. If you want to potentially get a free pair of tickets to an Auburn home game, we got those for you too. Those are going to our Patreon members. So we appreciate everybody who are members of the War Report community. And if you are a member and you want to gift a membership, you can do that right now from the live chat, and someone will get a free month of membership on you. We're giving away a War Report mug. Hashtag get your weight up right now in that live chat to enter that drawing. We'll do that drawing right around the 1 hour mark. You have to be present to win. So if you drop your hashtag and dip, then the chat will definitely let us know that you are out of here. So make sure that you are present when that happens. Special shout out tonight to also a presenting sponsor of tonight's midweek report, and that is Lynch Toyota. Lynch Toyota of Auburn is Auburn's premier Toyota dealership. If you want to go get a BMW and they have like really good warranties, they have 100,000-mile warranties on all their Toyotas, but they also give you a warranty on your certified pre-owned vehicles right there from Lynch Toyota. So make sure that you lock in with them if you're in the mood to go get yourself a new car. If you're not in the Auburn area, just go to lynchtoyotaofauburn.com to browse their selection. If you are there, you can go and buy a vehicle, you can sell your own vehicle, trade in your vehicle, and then use their vehicle service. Make sure you shop Lynch Toyota for Auburn's best customer experience. Get started now at lynchtoyotaofauburn.com. All Toyotas are created equal. Lynch Toyota makes the difference. Lynch Toyota of Auburn, great place, great selection, great deals, and really great people. And we appreciate them for sponsoring tonight's midweek report.
Before we get into it, Jonathan Boyson, welcome, good sir.
Hey, Jonathan. My guy.
Tatiana is still triggered.
I still talk about that BMW.
Listen, they're wonderful vehicles while they last.
Yeah, I used to own one, so I can't joke too hard, but yes.
Get yourself a Tesla, Tatiana.
Getting past 75,000 miles with a BMW, y'all are brave people.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I was scared. Okay. Stuart Donald says, have we discussed Michigan being caught red-handed cheating? Chances the NCAA does anything?
We have not talked about that. That sounds like a what did we see situation, but we'll probably wait until they actually decide what they want to do. But it's not looking so good for your boy Jimmy up there in the maize and blue. We'll see how it goes. But
they got to be sick too, because they just started to
you just started to get good again.
Yeah. They got to feel like the NCAA is after them for real.
I mean, if they did all the stuff that they're accused of doing, you basically just put a target on yourself and was like,
that's true.
They ain't finna do nothing about what they gonna do about it. This. That this is unfortunate. I mean, I don't know that maybe they don't even get in trouble. Maybe they're like, hey, it's not actually illegal. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how the NCAA doesn't do anything, but what I do know is if they move at the pace that they normally do with how they delve out their whatever, it'll be 4 or 5 years before we ever see any penalties from any of this stuff. They'll take a couple years to go and contemplate what they need to do, and then they'll go talk to the administration and give them an opportunity to self-impose, and then a year and a half later they'll actually enact the bans and all this kind of stuff. So and then they're going to retroactively try to get rid of wins later down. Like that, the NCAA is so ridiculous. They're so ridiculous. They're going to wait 4 years and then go retroactively take stuff away.
How long does Harbaugh stay around?
I mean,
did he take the first NFL job smoking?
At this point, if there is any, I mean, so like institutional control, right? Like that's the thing that you have to think about when you're in this, and how likely is it that Jim Harbaugh had no idea where this video intel came from that they're able to use? Like, is it just him and is it just his staff that knows, but he has no clue? Then again, you have to go to institutional control, and I don't know how he survives that. Like, I don't know how the athletic director allows him to survive that. So yeah.
Did they say what time frame the allegations are cover?
I haven't looked into it in any detail. I've just seen it floating around.
Yeah, I saw it floating around there that there was some kind of notice of allegations essentially issued. But ultimately, I man, if it's around recruiting during the NIL period, that would be really sad.
No, it's about stealing signals from the opposing.
Oh yeah, to see it stealing signals. See, I thought that I saw that there was
some recruiting violations.
Violation stuff was an element of
this was before the season started that they had some issues with his recruiting stuff. So like this is like the third thing that's come out under the this Michigan staff since Jim Harbaugh's been there that the NCAA is investigating. And what's crazy is like he had some tweet where somebody was kind of offhand referencing him, and he was like, basically saying, if anybody thinks that we did something wrong, they're crazy. And then they made him sit out the first 4 games of the season because they said, hey, you did something wrong. So Jim Harbaugh, listen, man, he's a win at all costs coach. Listen, he's a 49ers coach for a while. I thank him. We went to the Super Bowl under him. He somehow forgot that Randy Moss was on that team and didn't want to throw him to him in the end zone, whatever. I don't harbor any ill will towards the man a little bit. But I will say that what he's doing at Michigan to try to get ahead of Ohio State it seems as if he's stepped over the line a little bit.
Agreed.
All right, I don't care. So let's talk about Auburn, Mississippi State. Our head-to-head against them, 2:30 Central Time, SEC Network this Saturday. Auburn is favored. It's been a while since Auburn's been favored. Over and under is 43.5. Football Power Index gives us a 62% chance of winning. Head-to-head, Auburn is leading this series.
But Mississippi State's not a bad program. They're neck and neck with Auburn pretty much. I mean, because the last 10 times we met, it's been 5-5. So they're they're close now. Because they got 5 of the last 10. They're close, right? Because, when you do math, the 62 minus 30, that's close. It's close.
Ike is on his petty pentagram.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's close. we're like, we're neck and neck. If one of those necks is a mole and the other's a giraffe, like we're really close. Listen, too much cowbell affects the brain. That's what we learned this week.
Gotcha.
Hugh Freeze has 1 loss to Mississippi State as the Ole Miss head coach. 2016 technically doesn't count because he got fired before they played the game.
Did he lose to Dak that year?
Possibly. Let me see here. Was it Dak? No.
Or was it Fitzgerald?
Somebody named. Hold on, wait. It might have been Dak. Was it Dak? Was it the Dak pack?
I don't know.
Yeah, but he had one loss. He definitely had 1 loss. And it was 2013. So Nick Fitzgerald.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Nick Fitzgerald. 55-20. They got whooped.
I mean, Fitzgerald put some things on us too, boy.
He was 8 for 17 passing for 109 yards.
Hey, we could repeat that. 8 for 17 passing.
And then somehow Nick Fitzgerald ran 14 times 258 yards.
Hey, listen, he did the
That
same
was
thing to
that
us,
was the
bro.
Nick Fitzgerald stat line.
Wow,
He was
bro.
good to
ran
run
for
for more
We
than
can do that.
250.
We could do that.
We can.
Yeah, Robbie Ashford grew up with 250.
Yeah. Let's take a look, shall we? Do we want to look at the stats now, or do we just kind of want general
Sure.
ideas and thoughts, or how you want to do this, gentlemen?
We can go to the stats.
Let's go to the stats. Let's go to
All right.
the scoreboard.
Let's pull up and look at Auburn's offense. And as you can see, those numbers have been dwindling week by
Horrible.
week. We're
every
averaging
week this number does go down. Like, let's be clear.
Yeah, man.
I feel like that
man.
offensive total number should have gone down.
It would have actually probably ticked up a little bit from last week because we scored 21. But yeah,
The total offense number.
yeah, I don't know. It probably did go down. I don't know how, but
I thought it was 337 last week.
I don't know what it was last week, bro. Let's see what we'll see if I have a typo. Continue talking.
Yeah, I kind of swore. But I know what you're talking because I looked at this number and I saw that it was 337. I thought it was 337 last week. They definitely got less than 300 yards of total offense against Ole Miss. Like, what was it, 275 or 293 or something like that?
I don't know.
I find it concerning that we're not a tempo team this year.
Nope, it's 337 is what it says on the thing that they gave.
Okay.
us.
All right.
Yeah, we're still averaging 29 minutes, under
I think
30 minutes.
It was like 337 point something last week, and now it's 337 even or something.
Okay, so it didn't move the needle very much. Whatever they got, but essentially they only had 275 yards of total offense. That's why I thought it would have gone down a little bit more than that. But okay, like 7 or 8 yards average. I thought it would go down.
Nah,
okay. What gives? Again, do we stay? Let me just give you some stats, gentlemen. In addition to what we're seeing here, Mississippi in Power 5 competition this year is giving up an average of 251 yards through the air. 350 to Arizona, 288 to South Carolina, 164 to Bama, 367, which is a lot of where that came from LSU, 96 yards by Arkansas. On the ground against Power 5 competition, they're giving up an average of 138 yards a game. Their biggest yards that they've given up this season was against Alabama, where Bama rushed for 193 yards against them in 3 scores. So the question is, gentlemen, Auburn has a chance to look more like Bama, who at the time was having some question marks at quarterback, but didn't throw a lot, but they rushed for a good bit. 193. I think they hit the 350 mark against Mississippi State. Or you can look like Arkansas, who also has question marks with its offense, QB, where you only threw for 97 yards and rushed for 103. Who do we look more like this weekend? Now, obviously, we're feeling good. Mike G's feeling good. Ike's feeling good. How do we do that exactly this weekend? And what some people are asking, and I'll put this in, people are asking, who's going to be the starting QB? Who's going to be the QB who makes it go this weekend? You guys talked about it in Hugh Freeze's presser that he alluded to the fact that Robbie could see more time in this offense.
He saw more last week, right? Like this was the most snaps that he's had in any significant duty all season. I honestly think that it's trending in the direction of Robbie Ashford getting more time than less. He technically started the last game, right? He got the first offensive series in the last game.
The whole series.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't just like he went in for a couple of plays and then came back out there. He got the entire first series of that game. So I think there's a possibility that it continues to trend in that direction. What makes me feel even more like that is not my relationship with Robbie Ashford, because I know him doesn't make me predict this. But what makes me feel like that is the way Peyton Thorne does not seem to be very happy right now. His discontent makes me feel as if he knows that his play time is dwindling. and he sees the trending direction in which it's going. And I think that points to Robbie Ashford playing more.
Mike, what say you?
I agree. I think that this is trending toward more playing time for Robbie Ashford. They started out with like packages for him here and there. They would take him out, but then they let them both finish drives. It almost looked like a either or thing there for a while, like every other drive thing for the quarterbacks. But ultimately, he keeps getting questioned about this guy's week after week, right? Mm-hmm. Like, why with the QB switching, right? It's not working. So why keep doing it? And you're not judging Robbie Ashford and Peyton Thorne on the same level, for lack of a better term, right? Like, one you brought in, he's got 2 years of Power 5 starting experience, and you absolutely brought him in to hit the ground running, because that's what experienced quarterbacks are supposed to do, right? And I'm not saying that Peyton Thorne is Tom Brady, but when Brady went from the Patriots to the Bucks, right? You think they were sitting around talking about acclimating him to stuff? No, man, you came in experienced. They expected him to immediately elevate that offense. That's why you bring a guy like that in.
Yeah.
I think we all thought he would immediately elevate this offense.
100% thought we go back to the film and we can hear ourselves saying it.
Yeah, right. Like regardless of play calling, we felt like he would make throws that haven't been made here in a while consistently, at least when they were there. Not only is he not making those throws, at times he's not even seeing them. So and I'm not saying that Robbie Ashford will see them.
Yeah, it's completely separate conversation.
Yeah, completely separate conversation. But we know one is a much better athlete. And so if those things are equal, come up with a game plan that accentuates what this kid can do and use him right and get the play calls right. You know what's interesting was in the last presser, Hugh Freeze said that neither quarterback is running the entire offense.
He did say that.
So, but what he didn't say whether that was for lack of understanding of concepts or whether they're just not calling it. I think it might be a mix of both, because we've consistently heard that they've gone into the week with one game plan, changed it midweek, and then abandoned like 60% of it on game day.
Yeah.
So they're practicing stuff that they're not even running.
Peyton Thorne confirmed that in the interview he had this week with the media, talking about, we've practiced a bunch of stuff and we finally got around to it at the end of the game last week when we installed this stuff. So he's confirming that, hey, what we're practicing, we're not actually running consistently in games. Robbie said that when he's going in there, he is trying to study the entirety of the offense plus his package, right? So he knows he has a sub package that exists outside of the normal playbook, but he's like, I'm preparing like the number 2 guy just in case I need to step in and run all of it.
Right. So, because in a game time, like in a game winning drive scenario, you can't just run a package.
Right.
You have to run whatever you need to run to win the game.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't go into, 4th down and 10, 4th and goal. No time left on the clock. You can't be like, well, these are the only 3 pass plays we call for them.
I mean, that's why we've seen Peyton Thorne more at the end of games when we need to throw, is because the portion of Robbie's package that he's being allowed to run doesn't include any of that stuff. And that's not to say there's 2 different portions of this. I think a portion of it is the confidence in this coaching staff and his ability to execute that stuff better than Peyton Thorne, not to execute it at a fundamental level, but better than Peyton Thorne can. And then a portion of that is whether or not they feel comfortable going to that stuff earlier in the game with him, which it's apparent that they don't feel comfortable with him throwing the ball consistently. And listen, I don't think that it's a reach to say that Peyton Thorne is a better thrower than Robbie Ashford is. Like, I think that's clear. I don't know if he's a better football player, though.
Right. Agreed. So when you look at these numbers, I want to add some nuance to this, right? Although Auburn is averaging 330 yards of offense per game, if you extrapolate the Power 5 numbers, they are only averaging 261 yards against Power 5 teams. Whoa. That's bad.
Mm.
Right. Consistently, there are about 30 quarterbacks at the FBS level that will throw for more total yards than Auburn is averaging versus Power 5 competition. So this will be a question of whether or not they can break that trend. If they can get anywhere close to the actual average, these numbers are being inflated by, 2 games against 2 really bad teams, and UMass and Stanford. Right? And those weren't exactly groundbreaking numbers, but I mean, you were able to easily get into the 400s in terms of total offense.
Correct.
Right? So without those games, I mean, they have been historically bad. There's no other way to put it, right? So you've got to break. Something's got to give here, right? And I think that the total offense number is not indicative of how much I think Auburn can score in this game, because I believe this defense will turn them over on their side of the they'll get some short fields from the Auburn defense to work with, score some touchdowns, a big play here or there, and that's how they get the 31. Because, there were admittedly, guys, a lot of people who were miffed at my prediction. They were like, you think Auburn's going to get the 31 in this one? And I'm like, yeah, I have been on the short side up until this game. So I understand now everybody's coming over and understanding, and what I've been trying to say about this, the way this offense is trending. However, again, points per game is a different metric, right? You could have points added by the defense. I'm not saying exactly how they're going to get there, because nobody can sit here and predict a pick six or a block punt for real. I can say I think special teams and defense will contribute in some kind of way. And I think that they have a chance to do that, not necessarily by scoring, but by giving the offense a short field to work with. And, maybe a couple more field goals by McPherson in this one. They'll get there. Guys, they will get there in this game. I promise you, this game is winnable. It's at home. And I am begging fans to show up the way they did for Ole Miss, because they can absolutely make a difference against, and we'll talk about it in a second, this Mississippi State offense. If all things are equal versus Ole Miss, I think, in terms of environment, it won't be a night game, but I do think that they can find enough success here to win an ugly one by 2 scores.
Let me ask you this. Teams that have been able to throw the ball, as I've outlined, have been able to do so against Mississippi State.
Mm-hmm.
What does Auburn do through the air in this game?
Oh, yeah, that's a great question. That depends. What are they willing to call enough passes for it to make a difference? So 3 out of the last 4. Well, I say 3. 3 out of the last 4 SEC games, they've run the ball twice as much as they've thrown it. Right. So, I mean, 20-something passes to like 40-something runs. They had one game where it was just under, but it was still significantly more runs than passes. The opportunities really just haven't been there. The volume hasn't been there. Part of the reason Peyton Thorne was able to put up numbers at Michigan State was because they were giving him 30-plus throws a game to get there. Even in the 5-7 year, he was averaging 30 pass attempts a game. These quarterbacks are barely getting to 20, and it's all disjointed, right? There was a tweet by a beat writer about how, Peyton Thorne finishing 9 for 13, right? What he left out of his tweet was like 9 of those 13 pass attempts came on the last 2 drives, and 5 of them on the very last touchdown drive where Ole Miss clearly went into a prevent defense. It was pretty clear they thought Auburn couldn't come back. It was just like, keep everything in front of you and just make them chew up enough clock so that there's no time. And that's exactly what it accomplished. They scored, but let's be realistic. They were going to have to recover an onside kick and like do some really low probability things to win that game.
Correct.
So the way they called my point is the way they called the passing game in the first half, there was not a ton of volume. They
We
didn't
only had
pass.
something like 6 passes through like
Maybe.
2
Yeah,
and a half
dude.
quarters.
Yeah, I think maybe it was 5, Ike, because it was about 9 passes on those 2 drives that I referenced.
Well, I'm just talking about Auburn in general only had like 6 passes. I'm including Robbie in that number of like what we had thrown before that, not just the Peyton Thorne throws. I'm talking about
correct.
Auburn
Correct.
had only
Yeah.
done like
Yeah,
6
for sure.
throws. Yeah.
Yeah, it was not a lot.
Yeah.
So, I'm not until I see them, I'm not confident. We haven't heard anything about a pivot in terms of their approach to the offense. They, to me, have consistently shown that they don't trust either one of these quarterbacks to throw the ball in volume.
Right.
I don't, again, I don't know how I could predict that they're going to suddenly turn them loose.
Yeah.
And this one.
Right.
Well, I
just
mean,
don't
here's
know.
the thing.
They seemed unwilling.
It's if they're really running RPO, then it's not really about calling passes. It's about the quarterback taking the opportunity to make passes when they're
Right.
there. So if teams are truly committed to stopping the run this game, with Mississippi State saying, hey, you guys aren't going to run the ball, there should be plenty of opportunities to throw the football in this game.
I
The
agree.
quarterback has to make the decision, I'm going to take that throw that's available to me.
Correct. So it'll be interesting to see. Now, Ike raises a good point about this metric, and I'm pulling it up here. But pass attempts and actual dropbacks are 2 different metrics. So there could be some dropbacks where it was intended to be a pass, but the ball never left the quarterback's hands.
Right. He took off running or he took a sack.
Right. And some of that is hard to measure, right? But against let's see here, against Ole Miss in particular, if I'm looking at Peyton Thorne, he had a total of 22 dropbacks against 13 attempts. So there was a difference of 9 dropbacks where there was an intent to pass, but a pass wasn't made.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that could be about anything, right? Again, we know he got sacked a couple times. Receivers aren't open, whatever. He takes off running. But there were nine dropbacks where there was an intent to pass, but no pass was made. So they're at least trying to some extent. I'm just not sure that's enough. Now, if you go to Robbie Ashford, right, he was 3 for 4 on the day, 4 pass attempts against 6 dropbacks. So he only had 2 dropbacks where there was an intent to pass and no pass was made. So between the 2, right, you had 11 dropbacks. They tried to pass and they didn't. And I just think you've got to attempt it more. They don't attempt it enough for teams to take it seriously. A lot of people were just like, why don't we go up tempo more? Like we saw on that scoring drive. It seemed to work. And I'm like, you have to account for the fact that Ole Miss was playing Auburn very differently on that drive because time was running out. Sure. 7 minutes left in the game, 2 scores, you haven't scored. They're just like, prevent. Don't give up the big play.
Right.
Right? Don't give up the quick score so that they have a ton of time for the next drive that could potentially tie the game. That was clearly their strategy. And that's what they put on tape all year. So I don't know how capable Mississippi State's defense is going to be of stopping Auburn from doing what they want to do. But I expect this coaching staff to stick with the run-pass ratio that we've seen so far.
So listen, it's working. So
yeah, right.
I mean, working, quote unquote, working. As far as the run game is working, so like you shouldn't abandon it.
If they can't stop it, run it.
Yeah, but listen, this Mississippi State defense, though statistically has not been great for 4 quarters for any game, they can be a defense that can come in and shut teams down. They made Arkansas look pathetic. Yeah. So I don't want a repeat of what Arkansas just went through, where you come in and you're already a limping offense and Mississippi State just introduces a buzzsaw to you defensively. But I think that we have better athletes all around, and I think that we've been better than Arkansas has been for the majority of the year. This is something I pointed out in the film review about creating yards before contact in the run game, right? Mm-hmm. So Arkansas is going to have to, I think, add some guys to the picture and really, like, it's going to have to be 6-7 men committed to trying to stop the run in order for them to be effective in run defense against us. But If they do that, the quarterback has to be willing to throw the quick stuff, the quick game that's going to be available with that.
Yeah.
They have to be willing to do it.
Agreed. So we'll see. But yeah, no, Caesar, I don't expect a change in the passing game until I've seen it. I'm not saying it won't happen, but like I wouldn't anticipate it. They don't trust them to throw.
I mean, listen, we've cracked 100 now. Did we go over 100 in this last game?
We did.
Yes.
Okay, so 2 games in a row we've gone over 100 passing yards. It's pathetic that I even have to say that, but
barely.
I think we definitely get to 3 games in a row where that happens. The question is, how much over 100 do we get? That's all going to be dependent on how well Mississippi State's actually stopping the run. I think maybe 150 is the number, though.
That's my question. Yeah. So if we're not feeling bullish in the passing game, what does Auburn need to do on the ground? And we see what our rush yards per game is. And I already mentioned what Mississippi State is giving up in Power 5 competition, 138 yards. What does Auburn need to do comfortably to position them to be able to win this game?
I mean, I think if you get to 300 something yards total in this game, I think you're in a good place because I'm putting faith in the defense to be able to stifle Mississippi State more so than I think that we need some explosion of offense. This isn't like we're playing Ole Miss and LSU in this game, right? Like we're not playing this high-powered offense or even an offense that's going to move quickly. So I think that you can be more methodical in this game and not have to go tempo, and it doesn't play against the strategy of the other team. This may be a very ugly Texas A&M of last year kind of game where it's ugly on both sides, but you grit out a win. Or it could be they're missing tackles left and right, and we absolutely run through them the entire game. Like those are really the only 2 ways I see this going. It's either going to be ugly, close Auburn, or it's going to be beat down. Auburn runs them off the field. I just don't see Mississippi State winning this game. And I know that's me putting on the orange and blue goggles. That's fine.
It's not. No, it's not. It's not, though.
I mean,
right.
Someone who's not an Auburn fan will absolutely say that it is.
Yeah. No, it's not, though. This isn't hyperbole. This is not sunshine pumping. This is just a really bad team, and we know Auburn's defense has played well this season.
Correct.
I don't expect that to change against
and getting stronger.
Yeah, I don't expect it to change against this team. So I know we got to look at the other side of this. We're kind of getting into that discussion.
All right, let's go ahead and flip and talk about the defense and what it's going to do. Mississippi State brings in a new quarterback,
Mike Wright.
He completed 8 of 12 attempts. Total 85 yards passing. He did rush 11 times for 60 yards total, averaging 5.5 yards per carry. Threw for a touchdown and threw for an interception.
Literally first play of the game.
Yeah.
First play of the game, he threw a pick.
So, again, these numbers, take into account what they look like, especially with the new quarterback. Will Rogers was kind of doing a lot of the heavy lifting in the passing game. Mm-hmm. It's going to be interesting to see how this team look. Mike G, you made a statement recently that this game will more so mirror the Cal game in terms of when they trotted out an athletic quarterback and how we had to defend that. Mm-hmm. You expect more of the same in this game, I'm assuming.
Yeah, look, this is going to be about containing, keeping him in the pocket.
Yep.
Right? You got to keep this guy in the pocket, force him to make plays from the pocket. You'll be all right for this. Right? Protect the edges of the field. And you can stop this offense. My understanding is it will be him and not Will Rogers. I know a lot of people have questions about which quarterback is going to start. I'm expecting Mike Wright. Haven't heard otherwise from our sources. They're stoppable, right?
And I'm not sure. Has anybody heard whether or not Jaquavius Marks is going to be a go for this game?
I haven't.
He got hurt in the last game, and he's their leading rusher.
Yeah, I don't know. But 351 yards a game, again, inflated by some cupcakes. When you extrapolate the Power 5 numbers, they're not great. Do we have points per game on here? Yeah, 26.9 points per game. Look, man, I expect the averages to win here for Auburn's defense. I do. Still got, to me, the best secondary in the conference.
Let me say this. If they get their average in rushing yards and passing yards in this game, they're not going to score 27 points.
They're not. Yeah. They're definitely not.
That's going to be all-time busts of like just they get
unless turnovers, Ike, by Auburn.
okay, yeah, unless turnovers,
right.
yeah. But I'm just saying though, if I can't see them rushing for less than 150 and barely getting to 200 and scoring 27 on this defense. Like I can't see that happening with the way that we have been performing defensively and bend but don't break type of stuff. I can't see them scoring 27 with only 350 total yards.
Right. Agreed. Yeah, no way. Dude, the time of possession here thing, I think, again, Auburn chew up the clock, and keep this defense off the field. Now, Jarquez Hunter looks like the Jarquez of old in the last game.
He's definitely
he
getting
came back, right?
Little mojo back in the last game. I'll agree with that.
That will help this defense significantly. So, well, the way I'm looking at this, I expect Auburn's defense to hit all their averages in this one, at the very least, if not hold them below these totals.
Now, one thing I will point out, please continue kicking the ball into the end zone because they do have one of the more dangerous return men in the country back there.
Yeah.
Don't kick it to that young man. Stay away from him. Because what I don't want is some random because they did it to us last year. Some random kickoff for a touchdown. Like, no, sir.
We couldn't kick the ball into the end zone last year to save our lives.
Stay away from him, man. Don't kick the ball to him, bro. Like, I'm not trying to see that this year.
Yeah,
for sure. So in this game, pretty much Auburn just needs to stop the run. Auburn's going to be committed to stopping the run, even when Michael Wright threw the ball. And again, I'm not sure how much of the playbook is being expanded to him, but I saw a lot of short throws. And his longest pass was, I think, a 30-yard, which he threw in double coverage, gentlemen. So from a turnover standpoint, you said already, Ike, his first pass from the line of scrimmage was an interception.
Yeah.
How opportunistic? We know our secondary can be very opportunistic. Do we foresee turnovers in this game for Auburn?
I expect at least one turnover, but I think we're going to get two in this game. Yeah.
I think we get two as well. Mike, what say you?
I'm thinking 2 to 3 turnovers in this one.
And that, in your opinion, is what helps Auburn get to 31.
Right, yeah. A couple of short fields, sack fumbles, something. They'll get after them in this game. An interception here or there. Did they have an interception last week? They did.
Yeah,
I think they got an interception in every single game this year, right?
Did not pick off LSU.
Yeah.
Were you sure?
Oh, no, we did pick off LSU. We got the tip pass that went to DJ James in the LSU game. Let me rewind. Georgia, we got an interception.
Yep, we got an interception.
Texas A&M, that was not an interception. That was a fumble recovery. We did not pick off Texas A&M.
Close. Yeah, but listen, man, these guys are playing good, man. I expect them to continue to create havoc. I think that Ron Roberts has done a great job so far this year with the defensive scheme.
I didn't like what he did versus LSU, but the other games during the season, I think that he's done what has. And listen, man, Keontae Scott and Austin Keys, the two keys being back in the defense.
That's a good point.
Changes this defense. They're able to be more aggressive because you can rotate your linebackers a little bit more, right? Your linebacker rotation gets a little bit more strong because you can always have one. And this is going to sound like disrespect to those two gentlemen, and I apologize, but I'm going to say it as it is. Cam Riley and Wesley Steiner being on the field at the same time is not a good proposition for Auburn. You don't have to have that scenario when you have Austin Keys back into your rotation. You can always have one of those other guys, whether it's Eugene Asante, Larry Nixon, or Austin Keys on the field to be able to make up for what you're losing with having that other gentleman on the field because they haven't played well consistently. And Keontae Scott just changes what you're able to do with your rotations of how you're doing safety, even though he's playing a lot of snaps. Where he can line up on the field differs. And now especially in situations where you can put him and Donovan Kaufman on the field at the same time.
He frees up Kaufman to really be a rover now and just play all over. So I like it.
It's a different defense with both of those guys in there. It's a different defense.
Deontay came in, it was causing problems. Yeah.
He was everywhere.
I like it. I like that. That's a really good point about the return of those guys. I think that it does something for this They still weren't. They didn't put Keontae on punt return.
No, I don't think he's
they're
ready.
trying to
do
protect him
that.
from that. Yeah, but man, I like it, dude. I like that. I like what they're doing, and I think that the defense again holds this offense under all their averages in this game. Now this was an overtime game at Mississippi State last year, and Caddy's first game as interim head coach. So these guys will be looking for a little payback this year, I think. And this is the year to get it. This is a different Mississippi State team. Rest in peace, Mike Leach. But obviously, without his, impression on what they do, they've suffered offensively. The fact that Will Rogers doesn't lead the conference in pass attempts is crazy to me.
I mean, considering what he had been doing previous to now, which again, I understand it's a very different offense. And listen,
Very different offense.
do we even know what offense that Mississippi State's going to be trotting out here this week? I mean, we saw a little bit of it. Here's the reason why I asked that is because Mississippi State philosophically, I think, is a different offense than they were with the other quarterback because you have a more running threat.
That's
but
correct.
with an additional week for them to get ready for this game, do they trot out anything that we haven't seen before? Here's what I think is going to happen, and this is what Auburn needs to be on alert for. And I think this is the thing that Mike Wright actually does the absolute best is the screen game.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to try to screen us to death in this game, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be on alert for a bunch of screens.
He was 8 of 12, a lot of short passes. So yes, obviously I look for screens to be a part of their passing attack. I don't
more highlights the need for guys like in that linebacker core and a guy like Keontae Scott to be on their P's and Q's, because that's who you really need to kind of clink.
Yes.
If your defensive linemen are going to go out there and be aggressive and try to corral Mike White, you need to have that second level of linebacker and that star to be there to make sure that those screens aren't effective.
Agreed. All right, gentlemen. Good talk on this. Any other thoughts on what the defense has to do? Obviously, we're looking to stop the run, put them in passing situations where we can pin our ears back and get to them. Turnovers. We expect to see turnovers in this game. Anything else, guys? Sacks. What about pressures?
Yeah, like let's say it's contain. Keep them in the pocket.
Got to pressure this guy a little bit different. They got to be a bit more disciplined when you're rushing.
And I think that you can blitz him. I just think that you have to make sure you're maintaining your rush lanes. But what I expect to see from this Ron Roberts defense this week is a lot more zone blitzing, where they're going to give a pressure look, but then they're going to drop out of it just to change the post-snap picture for him. So you may see 5 guys line up, as if they're going to come, and then 2 of those guys drop back, both the jack and the star, and then they bring a corner blitz, right? Like I expect them to be very different. And what we saw earlier in the season from this defense, where it's like, you don't know where the guy's coming from. It could be, you have the jack and the star lined up in the 5-man front, but we're actually going to bring the linebacker on a delay. Like they're going to do that kind of stuff to Mike Wright so that he's not seeing the same picture post snap, and he's more likely to throw a pass into an area where we're expecting him to throw that. That's what I'm expecting to see this week from the defense, now that we have more of our full strength of what this defense should look like on a consistent basis.
Yep. Agreed.
Good points, gentlemen. Good points. Love it, love it, love it. Let's get to the drawing. We are giving away a mug courtesy of War Eagle Oil. Hashtag get your weight up. Maybe next time if you haven't entered it. Ike's ready to draw. I'm not holding him back. Ike, take it away. Good sir.
Let's get to it. 56 people have entered the drawing. Somebody's got to win it, courtesy of War Eagle Oil. The new recipient of a War Report mug is Sherman Sawyer. What's up, Sherman?
What's up, Sherman?
He literally just messaged something here. Sherman, we appreciate you getting in here. While we're waiting on Sherman to confirm he is still here, even though I just saw him, we definitely want to shout out show sponsor, HelloFresh.
Hey.
HelloFresh, man. Actually, I got my HelloFresh box in, my second box from them.
I did too.
I need to get down there and get to cooking on that this week before I get out of town. But with HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip the trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. And that's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Even though the fall can feel jam-packed, HelloFresh makes whipping up a home-cooked dinner actually doable with quick and easy options, including their 15-minute meals. That's less time than it takes to get delivery. And with everything pre-portioned and delivered right to your front door every week, it's really a no-brainer. We all know HelloFresh takes the hassle out of mealtime, but did you know that it can also save you money? HelloFresh is 25% less expensive than takeout, so that means you can get an easy home-cooked meal on the table and more money back in your pocket. Go to HelloFresh.com/50Rapport and use code 50Rapport for 50% off plus free shipping. Again, that's HelloFresh.com/50Rapport. Use code 50Rapport for 50% off plus free shipping. That code is in the description of this video. Again, HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit, and we appreciate everybody who continues to support the sponsors of the War Report.
And Sherman is here. So, Sherman, you already know what to do. Email us, business@thewar report. We need your physical address. Send that to us in an email. The mug will be coming your way. Congratulations, and thanks again for supporting and watching. I'm going to grab some comments here. Let's get to them. Corey Dub says, I think everything works this week. He agrees with you, Mike, that Auburn breaks the 30 barrier. In fact, he's going to spot you, give you a touchdown extra.
38-10.
38-10 AU. That would be a good weekend for the good guys.
Yeah.
Cameron Carr says, is this the week we go up tempo?
Maybe. Yeah, who knows? Right? Did they
even if we don't
practice
go
it
listen
on
to the
Monday and then
Up-Tempo
not
podcast?
Up Tempo says yes.
Yeah.
No, look, man, who knows? They may practice it, but there's no guarantee they're going to do it on Saturday if the trend is, continued. So we'll see.
Don Cullen says, okay, Mike, is the AU defense going to shut down Mississippi State?
Hell no. I told y'all.
No shutouts.
No, 0. Not calling it. I don't want to jinx them. Yeah. But if they do get one, I'm still taking credit.
Because that's exactly how that works.
Yeah.
Fortunate Degree says we have a 38% success rate when we throw the ball, 98th in the nation compared to 51.1% when we run the ball, 17th in the nation. So I don't necessarily blame the coaches on that.
Well, yeah, I mean, but some of that 38 is on them, right? Again, when you have a disjointed pass game where you call low percentage passes and obvious passing downs, that percentage is going to be lower.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the coaches definitely can take a portion of the blame on this because there are, I know more opportunities for us to just throw the ball, and we just haven't done it. And we've waited until, like you said, obvious scenarios, and we've waited until end of game scenarios to really unleash any of the passing offense. And as Mike G has noted, and I've noted a few times, it's hard for anybody to just activate as a pass team at the end of a game when you haven't done it at all during the first 3 quarters. And now all of a sudden, all right, now we just got to go out here and throw the ball a bunch. Professional team, like there's not teams that are able to do that and just not throw the ball for the vast majority of the game and then just say, all right, cool, end of the game, let's get out here and sling it. That's not how that works, man. Yeah. So you've got to figure out a way to be more intentional with getting reps out there and passing the ball and allowing your quarterback, which is why I loved what we did in the Samford game. We went out there and we said, we're going to throw the ball. They're going to give us some quick 3-5 yard routes. Let's go out there and take them, get the quarterback into a rhythm, get the wide receivers catching the ball a little bit. We know we can get the run game whenever we want to. Let's go out here and establish that we can get this short passing game in order. I'm not saying you need to force it like that during the P5, but I do think that if they're going to play it even, then cool, just throw the ball and let's get those 3 to 5 yards on first down. Get into a better, more manageable second and third down scenario for your offense while getting some rhythm for your passing offense. I think that's completely attainable, and Auburn needs to look to do that more often.
Great.
Garrett Weaver, appreciate the super chat. He says, just popped in to say War Eagle, War Rapport.
Yeah.
War Eagle back at you. Thanks for the super chat. Thanks for watching this. Corey Dub, good to have you here, man. He says, does Keontae have another year of eligibility left?
He does.
He does. Yeah, he wasn't on the sheet. Ike and I created.
He does have another year of eligibility. I mean, I don't know if he uses it or not, but it's available to him.
Don Colin says, Ike, didn't the film show AU's O-line can be effective in opening up the run this
It
way?
absolutely does show that. Again, the statistics bear it out about how many yards before contact this offensive line is generating. We have been tops in the country in this all season. That's not changed in the recent weeks, and I think that we can continue to do that. So there's no reason why this run game should not be an effective portion of the strategy, even if Mississippi State makes an effort to try to take that away. But yeah, we just got to go out there and we got to beat Auburn this week, man.
Tatiana asks, who do you guys think our top 3 players will be of this game?
It's a difficult question. Are we going to 3 players? We get 3 on each side of the football? Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah. Which ones drive BMWs? Because not them.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
I don't know. Actually, I don't know if anybody on the team drives a BMW.
I have no idea.
Jarquez Hunter. Wait, is this offensively?
That's what I said.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, are we going to do 3 on each side? Or are we just saying 3?
So Tatiana, is it 3 total or 3 for each side of the ball?
Jarquez, Jalen Simpson, Robbie Ashford.
Top 3, period.
Yeah.
Jarquez Hunter,
Robbie Ashford, Jalen Simpson.
So I'm going to say that because he was used in this role in both the LSU and Ole Miss game as the spy, Eugene Asante is going to factor in very heavily into this game, with Mike Wright being the rushing threat. I think that we're going to get a surprise big game from Jeremiah Cobb in this game. He seems to pop up as a portion of our strategy like every other game. And since he barely touched the ball in the last game, I actually don't know that he had a single carry in the last game. I think Jeremiah Cobb is going to have a big game in this one. And I think my third player on this, I think we finally see a game where a wide receiver and or tight end, I'm going to say Fairweather is going to have a big game in this one.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
what I'm going to go with.
I'm going to go Quiz. Robbie. These are easy ones. And on defense, you said Simp.
That's what Mike said, yeah.
I'm gonna go Keontae Scott.
All right. I like Keontae being in there to mix it up.
Yeah, so that's how we feel about that one. We got a fax now by Lawrence.
I think so. I think the answer to this is yes.
Cobb gets at least 4 carries this weekend. Obviously, if he's going to be an impact player for Ike there. So
yeah, facts.
I think he does. Auburn, I think, is going to be committed to running the ball this game, and I think that creates some opportunities for him on the perimeter, on the edge. Damian Prentice says, "How do you guys feel about BMW as a sponsor?"
They got too much money to not sponsor us with a whole bunch of money. So listen,
yeah, I will drive one if they'll sponsor it.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
BMWs are amazing. Amazing cars. I could be bought.
They're really good for a lease. Let me say that. I would lease the BMW.
You remember the Dave Chappelle skit where he's talking about the difference between Coke and Pepsi? And he was like, "Can he taste the difference? All I know is Pepsi paid me the most recently, so it tastes better." Drives great. They never break down. What are you talking about? Most reliable car on the road.
I don't even know why they have to charge it for service.
Yeah, right.
That's great.
All right. Yeah, don't even need a warranty.
Hilarious.
Fantastic car.
Auburn wins if. Usually play this game with you guys since I won't see you guys again.
Yep.
Auburn wins if.
Look, man,
right?
Auburn wins if they create 3 turnovers. Guaranteed win. Turn Mississippi State over 3 times, and this game is a wrap. 100%. They're not built. They're definitely not built. Auburn is not built to come from behind, but they're definitely not built to come from behind, and definitely not on the road. I don't think this is the game where they find their groove
they're at home
offensively.
still. You said
Right.
Mississippi State's not built to come from behind on the road, you mean?
Yeah. They're not just not right. So like, I don't see it happening. This is not the game where they find their groove or get their groove back or I don't know. Like it's not happening. This is it, man. I'm telling you, this is as close to a guaranteed Auburn victory as I will predict for the rest of the year versus a Power 5 team.
And this is why I say Auburn wins if they show up, because I don't think that Mississippi State's got it.
Yeah, agreed. Show up. Just don't play down to the competition.
You show up and play football like you're supposed to, you win. That's the bottom line of this is there's not a universe where Auburn plays like Auburn is supposed to and Mississippi State wins this game outside of some ridiculously fluky things happen or referees all of a sudden forget that holding calls can be called against the opposing team's offensive line and face mask can be called against the other team's D. Oh, wait a minute. That just happened in the last game. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. But we still win despite that.
Auburn wins if a running back rushes for over 100 yards in this game. Because I already know what Robbie's probably going to do, especially if he's part of the offense. But if you get a running back, in addition to what Robbie will do in the running game, to go over 100 yards, that means we're running the ball very well, and it opens up other things in the offense, I'm hoping. And I think Auburn's offense begin to show signs of life and have a good day on Saturday.
Okay, I'm with it.
So
I'm with it.
Going with that. Any other thoughts, gentlemen? I don't know if you had anything else before we were pretty much towards the end of the show. Any other closing thoughts?
Yeah, like I'm just gonna reiterate a point that I made on the morning drop, right? Like this rest of the season, like if you're Auburn, you have to look at it as if your season begins today. Forget what happened the first 7 games. Your season begins today at home in your house against a team that you absolutely should beat. Forget about what happened yesterday. It doesn't even matter anymore. And if you're the coaching staff, your season begins today too. Now, I'm going to call them to the accountability table for a second, fellas. They have not done the best job they could have done setting these kids up for success. There's been a lot of talk about recruiting. Those kids can't help you this year. The point I made earlier was you owe it to your team now to give them the focus and attention that they deserve from you from the start. Now, Freeze has made some comments recently about recruiting on game days. Okay, cool, man. You know what's cool for recruiting? Winning. Or at the very least, looking competent. Do that too. Now, how does he do that? Well, this week gets paid $6 million to figure out. Whether that's taking back some of that delegation. Look, man, Caddy's pretty good at recruiting. People in our comments have been like, why not give Caddy more of those recruiting responsibilities on game day? And you be more involved in game planning and the calls that are being made. Because you owe it to these kids to put the best product you can on the field every single game. I don't give a damn about a talent gap. To hell with that talent gap. I asked him, I said, how do you balance the message of we don't have guys with instilling a belief in your guys that they can win every game? Because that can't be part of the pregame speech. They got better guys than us. We got to recruit. What? You're not telling your team that. But they hear what you say in the media. And what they hear their coach saying is we're not good enough. If you're listening to me, you are good enough. Lost to Georgia by 7 points. Lost to Ole Miss by 7 points. Should have beat Texas A&M. LSU was the only guaranteed L I saw on the schedule so far. These games were winnable, man. And I can deal with them not winning it as long as both sides are giving their all, coaches and players. But it starts with coaches. Coach them up, man. Inspire them. Motivate them to go out there and do their best. And I'm telling you, Auburn fans will stay behind that every single time. Our guys left it all on the field. I don't think that that's the position they've been put in consistently this year, but you can start on Saturday. Your season starts on Saturday. Beat Mississippi State. Beat Arkansas. Beat Vanderbilt. And you're already in a bowl game. Beat New Mexico State. Boy, the season starts to look a little different. And then sell out in the damn Iron Bowl, baby. It's the Iron Bowl. Anything can happen. But you can use the lead up, the 4-game lead up to the Iron Bowl to instill a belief in your team that they can win. Win enough of those games in the lead up, guys, and they will go in and they will lay it all on the line for the A and the U on their chest every single time. I've seen it. Now, we all went to Auburn, so we know what it feels like to be there and have that belief and that hope. It means something. Now, these coaches get hired, and it may or may not mean something to them. We know the paycheck means something to them. But if you're buying into Auburn, you buy into your team, buy into your kids. On paper, we may not be as talented as these guys, but I bet you they won't out-hustle us. I bet you they won't have more try than us. They will not out-effort us on Saturday. Nobody will out-effort us. And whether that results in a win or a loss is irrelevant. If you did your best and you left it all on the field, I can stand up and applaud for that. What I cannot applaud is these guys not getting the focus they deserve and then being thrown under the bus for the losses. I can't stand up for that. But we will continuously stand up for Auburn no matter what. No matter who the coach is. So when you walk away, sir, with your big old bag, what are you going to be able to say about your time here? Did I put these kids in the best position? Did I give them my all? Because I'm not sure how you can ask that of them if they're not getting that from you. I love the energy around recruiting, but maybe recruit your team now. Get in their heads, man, and cause a positive change. That's all I'm saying. It's the second time I had to give a speech this week. So anyway, yeah, that's it. The end.
Appreciate that.
All right.
Appreciate that. Good show, gentlemen. I tell the folks what you're going to be doing tomorrow, and if you don't have a green name, how you can get that.
You can go ahead and click that join button. Film reviews happening. Make sure you just go ahead and get in there and become a member of the War Rapport. You can go back and watch all the old stuff if you just become a member today, whatever. We got that for you. And if you're a patron, you get an opportunity. We still got a couple of games left, and you can win tickets potentially to our home games. You can gift a membership to somebody if you already are a member, and we appreciate those who continue to do the gifted memberships. That helps us out a lot. If you didn't get a chance to win something today, then you can go ahead and head to our merch store and purchase something. We appreciate everybody who's patronizing the merch store in that way. Shout out to the other guys around the network, Uptempo, the College Loop, Just a Sec, and we, the Auburn Express, out there in your podcast area. We appreciate y'all for listening to us over there on podcast. Continue to do that.
We were asked about BMW sponsorships. This is how I truly feel about it. I want to shout out Lynch Toyota. If you're in the Auburn area,
Yeah.
head on over there.
I think they sell Lexuses too.
Yeah. And I'm a Lexus driver.
Yeah,
so,
you are a Lexus guy. You are a Lexus guy.
I'm a Lexus guy. So, I got a rep. So
shout out to Drake Barefoot for just dropping the 20 gifted.
Yeah, I saw that. Appreciate that, Drake, with the 20 memberships on y'all.
Thank you, sir.
Check your email.
Thank you,
Check
sir.
your email.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Appreciate you for that. We also appreciate you if you share this video before you head up on out of here, smashing that like button, subscribing if you're new to the channel. Also, you can find us on social media. That is Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at The War Rapport. You can find us also on TikTok at TW Rapport. That's it for now, guys. We will see you on Friday with Facts or Nah on the morning drop. Of course, we'll be with you guys on game day, covering pregame, halftime, and postgame. So you definitely want to check us out there. Until then, guys, enjoy the rest of your evening. And as always, War Eagle.
War Eagle.
War Eagle.